And our breaking news involves 2 Detroit police officers in the hospital right now recovering from gunshot wounds. The suspect also shot, and he's in the hospital in police custody. Detroit Police Chief James Craig just gave an update on the case. We have live Team 7 coverage for you at police headquarters and 2 hospitals. Let's begin with 7 Action News reporter Amira David, who can tell us what the chief is saying. Amira.
That's right. He just spoke to us moments ago, and he told us 200 officers descended on this scene yesterday evening. But thankfully, they were able to bring in this suspect without incident.
The suspect was very violent. Clearly, he was aggressively trying to kill our officers.
It was an incident that rocked the Detroit Police Department. 2 officers taken down by bullets. At about 8:30 last night, the 2 officers were on the city's west side responding to a narcotics complaint. We are told they approached the suspect, who was allegedly acting suspiciously. All of a sudden, the man pulled out a gun and fired shots at them. One officer was hit in the neck, the other in the leg. But after coordinated efforts, that man was detained.
Within, I want to say, 2 hours, he had found a place of hiding. He was clearly aware, we believe, that the officers were searching, and it was during that search that, as the officers approached, he, in a second attempt, tried to attack these officers.
They have named him as 60-year-old Raymond Durham. Lots of questions today about the striking resemblance he bears to a suspect in last year's shooting of Wayne State Police Sergeant Colin Rose. And Detroit police are not ruling out a connection.
There are some similar characteristics. We certainly are not ruling him out. But I'm not prepared to tell you he is a suspect. At this point, he is not a suspect.
Now, Joanne, we did try to press him a little further on that point, establishing the connection between those 2 incidents, the shooting last year and the shooting we saw last night, but he wasn't willing to divulge that information, saying that the investigation is just getting underway. Here at DPD headquarters, Amira David, 7 Action News.
Amira, what about the gun here? Were police able to recover that?
They were able to recover that, thankfully. We do know that it is a .38 caliber. It's a revolver. They are doing some ballistic testing on that weapon. They're hoping to use that as evidence in building their case going forward. Joanne, back to you.
Amira David, thank you so much for that live report. Now let's go to 7 investigator Jim Kurtzner, who's outside Detroit Receiving Hospital, where those officers are being treated. Jim.
Joanne, they remain in stable condition. We are told non-life-threatening injuries. They were rushed here to one of the top level 1 trauma centers late last night. This is Detroit Receiving Hospital, where they did get emergency treatment. These 2 officers are very lucky. Take a look at the chaotic scene last night, not far from here, over on the near west side. One officer was shot in the leg and in the chest, but his bulletproof vest saved his life. The second officer shot in the neck. Obviously, that's a vital, vulnerable spot. The chief said the shooter was very aggressive, shooting, then get this, reloading and shooting some more. And as you just heard, it was a .38 caliber revolver. Now, that should tell you everything you need to know as these officers put their lives on the line last night investigating what were non-fatal shootings and narcotics investigations.
Both are still stable. All are stable, in fact. Both officers are still recovering. A senior officer, 20-year veteran of Detroit Police Department, assigned to 3rd Precinct Special Operations. His partner, 4 years of service, also assigned to 3rd Precinct Special Operations. Both hard-working officers, well respected at the 3rd Precinct, well respected by their command team.
Now, there has been a steady stream of family, friends, and fellow officers coming here to Detroit Receiving Hospital. We do know these 2 officers' names, but we're not putting them on TV until they are officially released by Detroit Police. The chief says he will be here this afternoon. We expect many more visitors as well. The suspect who was shot and arrested is not in this hospital. He's over at Henry Ford Hospital. And with more coverage on that, here's 7 Action News reporter Kim Russell.
Yes, Jim, I am live at Henry Ford Hospital, where he is being treated right now. And as we were trying to gather information about this man, we went to a house where we believed one of his relatives lived, and we underwent an extraordinary circumstance. Suddenly someone started shooting at us. So then we went back to our live truck and were unable to talk to anyone there. This is a picture of the man who police say is responsible for shooting these two officers. It's only on 7, this picture, surveillance picture from a dash cam during all of this. We did get to talk to some neighbors, even though as we tried to talk to family members, we came under fire.
We just got in. When we heard about it, we were shocked. Like, what?
Neighbor after neighbor agreed to speak only if we concealed their identities. This even though they had mostly positive things to say about Raymond Durham.
Raymond never bothered anyone. He was a very, very, very nice person.
This is a picture of the 60-year-old man arrested by Detroit police for allegedly shooting 2 Detroit police officers. According to state records, he does have a criminal history, including convictions from 1992 for what appears to be a burglary arrest. Neighbors say Durham is known to suffer from mental illness. They describe him as a hoarder who lived in several abandoned houses, including this house, his childhood home at McKinley and Magnolia.
He stayed to himself. They say that he was homeless. He lived in abandoned homes. But Raymond mostly stayed to himself and minded his own business.
Now, police say he was shot multiple times before he was taken into custody, but he is in stable condition here at Henry Ford Hospital. Reporting live in Detroit, Kim Russell, 7 Action News.
You know, Kim, we never want to be part of the story, but I can't imagine how frightening that was for you and your photographer this morning.
We just looked at each other, Jeremy and I, and we said we're going back to the live truck. We called police, and police said they were going to send a squad car out there just to make sure things don't escalate as more media went out. We also contacted our competition, other media outlets, to make sure everyone knows if you go there, there could be danger.
Well, it underscores the danger that certainly we can face doing our job, and police officers as well, when you see what happened to these 2 officers last night. Kim Russell, thanks so much for the work you're doing. We do appreciate it.